welcome back to the adventure that is EVE Online. I'm sure there are a number of viewers that have been wondering why I have not been making videos here lately, and there's good reason for that. As you can see here, I have a new ship. This is a Mackinac, which is a Tech 2 variation of the Retriever. It has a larger ore hold capacity and better mining rates and so on. And I've recently acquired the ability to fly it. And abilities or skills is pretty much the main thrust of this video. And it explains why I haven't been doing much lately. The reason for this is because when I started EVE, I had this idea that I wanted to get into mining and industry. And this was very much confirmed as I got through the initial career tutorials and started doing mining and industry stuff. I very much want to continue that. And so that's where I focused my skill training. I focused on gaining the skills necessary to fly a Retriever. And then I started working on skills to fly that were required to be able to fly the Mackinac, the Tech 2 version of it. And other skills that were related to mining efficiency, or production, industry, and so on. And therein was actually a little bit of a mistake. Because what happened was, you see, I had an interesting, very good ship here. Let's get a graphic of it. This is a Myrmidon. It is a combat battle cruiser. It is a pretty good ship, a very powerful ship. And as I understand it, it is commonly used in level 3 security missions, for example. And so I got this thing. I spent $50 million on the ship, and I spent another $20 million buying the necessary fittings, the weapons and armament and other stuff to go on it. And then I spent something like a whole bunch of time, something like probably 4 or 5 days training up the necessary skills to be able to fly it. And then I took most of a day, once I could fly it, doing about 75 or 80 or 90 hops all over the galaxy, picking up the components that I had bought for it. And then I returned to the system I was working in. I went to an agent there that was offering level 3 missions, and I accepted one. And I departed on that mission all confident. The ship was armed and loaded, and I had everything turned on and everything was good. And I was very confident that I would go into this level 3 mission and kick some butt. I arrived at the mission site. There were no less than 15 ships of various descriptions at that site, all of them hostile. All of them were aggro at the instant I dropped into the location. And they started closing on me and firing like crazy. I had all the defensive measures turned on when I got there. I started firing. I launched drones to have them start fighting. And I tried my very best to maintain a distance and let the drones do most of the work. Less than 2 minutes into the fight, the ship was a cloud of floating debris as I raced away from the location in my capsule. 70 million ISK down the tubes in less than 2 minutes. To say the very least, I didn't have a really bright and sunny attitude about this. To be more blunt, I rage quit. I have not rage quit the game in years, but I did this time. Later on, over the following couple or 3 days, as I calmed down and examined the situation a little more closely, it became obvious what the problem was. Okay, we get rid of the nice little picture here. I bring up the information about this Myrmidon. Most specifically, the prerequisites required, the skills required to fly it. These are the bare minimum skills you need in order to fly the ship. And I spent a few days acquiring all those skills. Okay. What I didn't bother to pay any attention to was this stuff on the recommended tab. Like, for example, now these are certificates. And certificates actually don't have any actual value in and of themselves, but what they're used for, like for example, the core competency certificate. Now, the prerequisites for that, it doesn't have any skill requirements. But to get the core competency certificate, you need to have all of these certificates. Like for example, core capacitor standard. Get the information on that. To get that one, you have to have all of these skills. That's 8 days and 17 hours worth of training. And as you can see, I haven't done most of it. I've got engineering level 1 and level 3. I have energy management level 3, but I need level 4. That's another 2 days. Energy systems operation, I've got level 3, but I need level 5, which is 17 hours for level 4 and 4 days, 5 hours for level 5, bringing up to a total of 8 days, 17 hours and some odd change to have that certificate. And that certificate means that I've got certain levels of skills, basically. Core fitting. Here's another certificate that the ship recommends. That's required just to get the core competency standard. Get this? There's 14 days, 11 hours worth of training required for me to get that. I've got some of it because you see the green check marks, I've got those. And the yellow circles means I have some of them trained, but not of the required level, it says. And so I've got a lot of training left to go in order to actually have just core competency standard. Okay, so we got core competency standard. Let me get this back. Then there's armor tanking. And to get that, there's another 7 days, 5 hours of training. And combat drone control, to get that is another day, 11 hours of training. That's a lot to be able to really effectively fly that ship. But once I have all of that, then level 3 missions should not be near as much of a problem as they were. Okay, so looking at my skills, I've got 100 skills with 4,333,000 or 36,000 or whatever skill points distributed amongst them. And when we look at certificates, oops, no certificates found. That's a problem. So let's open up the certificate planner. Now I happen to know, because I use a tool called EvE, I know that I can claim 22 certificates. And you can tell which ones they are. The blue mark, the ones with the blue mark there are certificates I can claim. So let's just change the settings here. Only shows certificates I can claim. Back here. And now here's all the ones that I can claim. So I'm going to hit claim all certificates. Alright, and this is the list of ones I've got. Amar Industry, 2 of those, Armor Tanking, Basic, Industry Prospector, Caldari Industry Prospector Basic, Cloak Operator Basic, Combat Drone Control Basic. You see, I've got a lot of basic certificates. I've got one standard, Galenti Industry Prospector Standard, And everything else is okay. Refinery foreman, you see, this is where I focused on my mining. I got that up to standard. I got resource harvester up to standard. You know, another mining thing. But everything else is at basic. And that is not good. So what I need to do is I need to focus my training, and that's what I've decided to do, because what I'm doing right now is I've been doing a lot of mining and running missions to gain standings with corporations that own bases that I'm doing mining operations and or manufacturing stuff and so on, and I'm raising the standings to improve mining, refining efficiency, to improve production efficiency for manufacturing, to reduce waste for manufacturing or reduce waste in refining and so on. And basically that's all fine and dandy, that's great, but in order to, okay, running level 1 and level 2 missions don't get you very much. Your standings increase, but they do so slowly. Less so with level 2s, but still not all that much. Plus, they're not worth nearly as much in terms of cash rewards or salvage value that you can get out of it. That, from what I've read, from what I've been told, that doesn't really start to get really worth it until you get to level 3 missions. So I need to work on my level 3 missions. So let's pop the training queue. I've already got, alright, Exhumers 4 is the last mining related skill that I'm going to be training for a while. And Mechanics 4 and 5 are the first skills in working towards getting those certificates that I need and don't have. And okay, I can look it up here. I have a skill plan put together in EvE, and to get all of those skills required to the required level to achieve the certificates I need, that is going to take, well, there's 28 skills that are planned in that group, and it will take a total of 49 days, 5 hours and some change, to achieve all of that. Now obviously I'm not going to just sit and do nothing but mine and run level 1 and level 2 missions while I train all those skills up. However, that's most of what I'm going to be doing for a while. I do have some other videos planned that are not dependent on combat ability, so I'll be working on that sometime in the next couple of weeks. But overall, I want to be working on these skills that are not currently trained to get this, well, to the required levels to get the certificates I need, which will make me able to actually fly this Myrmidon much more effectively, which means the next time I spend on the high side of 70 million to buy one, it will last more than 2 minutes in combat. I think that's a good thing. So basically, that's pretty much what's been going on, why I haven't been making videos, because honestly, while I find mining to be very relaxing, and I actually enjoy doing it, and the level 1 and level 2 missions are okay. They're kind of repetitive because there's not very many of them, but still, it's not bad. You get a little bit of salvage, you get a little bit of ISK, and it's a break from mining when you reach the point where you want to do something besides mine. Manufacturing, I've been doing some of, but not very much. Frankly, I haven't actually been on EvE very much in the last 3 weeks or so, checking in every couple of days to make sure that there was always something in the skill queue. And honestly, training for this Mackinac had several skills. There was one that required better than 14 days to train to the required level, and another one that took about 7 or 8 days, I think it was. So it wasn't exactly very exciting around here. However, as I said, I am going to be making some more EVE videos. I have an idea for something that I think should go over fairly well, and I'll be working on that in the next couple of weeks. And as the skills get trained that I'm working on and things improve, we'll be getting into some other stuff. Like, for example, there is that Sisters of EVE epic mission arc that I was going to start, which, by the way, I have not started yet. That is going to be covered in videos. It's supposed to be, well, literally quite epic, and it covers a span of some 50 missions, ranging from really easy to very, very challenging. So there you have it. That's where things stand. And you have my assurance I have not forgotten EVE, nor have I quit, nor do I intend to. There is more coming. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. I'm out of here.